Thanks, John. Here we are yet again for the fourth trial in 4 years in Manhattan Federal District Court. We're in the midst of the fourth trial in 4 years of John A. Jr. Gotti. What is he on trial for? Well, unlike the previous 3 trials, which included a whole host of charges from racketeering to extortion to a bunch of other organized crime-related activities, including, not to mention, ordering the kidnapping and assault of our very own Curtis Sliwa, this trial is very different, and that includes 2 murder charges. If Gotti's found guilty of either or both of them, he could be going to jail for the rest of his life. As we conclude the first full week of testimony, we've heard thus far from the government's star witness in this case, John A-Light, an Albanian bad boy who's been a drug kingpin, a murderer, and committed just about every crime there is. Now, A-Light has pointed the finger at Gotti in a whole slew of other slayings, including the 1983 barroom stabbing of Danny Silva, a 24-year-old. Now, one of the witnesses in that case, according to A-Light, was a fellow named John Sanamo, who A-Light testified Gotti ordered hung. We've already seen some inconsistencies in A-Light's testimony from what we've heard about him previously. Today, for instance, he backed off claims that he had an affair with Victoria Gotti and said that they only had feelings with one another. That and some other inconsistencies in his testimony has Charles Carnesi, the lead defense attorney for Mr. Gotti, chomping at the bit to get a hold of A-Light. Now, according to Carnesi, A-Light, who was dead to rights on murder, drug trafficking, and a whole host of other charges, is only doing this to get a better deal for himself. According to Carnesi, A-Light watched all 3 previous Gotti trials very carefully. He even read the transcripts and went out of his way to make a deal with the government to tailor his testimony so that the government could finally get him this time. So is this a vendetta against anybody with the last name Gotti, or is it justice finally being done? We'll see what happens next week as cross-examination begins of Johnny A-Light, which should go for quite some time. From Manhattan Federal Court, I'm Frank Morano for Uber TV.